Hello, hello. I am so sorry I'm late. We had technical difficulties in as much as I didn't know what I was doing. So here we are, another Sunday afternoon. Hooray! Can somebody let me know if you can hear me? And at the moment, I can't even see myself online. So please bear with me. At the moment, it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Yes, it is telling me I'm live. So I'm going to have to spend a moment just doing the getting myself organised thing. I'm sure you'll bear with me for that. And anyway, look, everybody's chatting, which is brilliant. So I'll say quick hello to people. Small Garden Escape, hello. Kate, welcome. I hope you're feeling better. Chrissy's here. Hi, Chrissy and Erica. And Rev Haynes here. Hiya, how is it on the south coast? And Hillary's here, and Barbara. I'm scrolling. And Sarah's here. Hiya, Sarah. Waves. And Debs is here. And Evil Spartacus is here from Scotland. What's your weather doing up there? What I Grow NL Allotments. And Rose is here. Hiya, Rose. What a Shambles and Jay and Teresa. And I almost got to the end there, I think. And Laurie is here, and Robert Kilter Gardner, and Laura Green Raven, and Eleanor is here from Norway, and Steve. Hiya, Steve. That's Digwell Greenfingers. And Joe is here. And Eccentric Homestead. Wow, loads of you. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and Brandon's here as well. Hello. And Mama's in the garden. And Tracy in Belgium. And Ross is here. Hi, Ross. And Owen the Welsh Gardener. And Michelle. Hello, Michelle. Wow, loads of you already. Thank you so much. So I'm going to start by saying welcome. It's sunny. We've had a week of storms where we have been absolutely battered by the wind and the rain. And today the wind has dropped down to about 25 miles an hour. The sun is out, and I won't say it's pleasant out there, but it's not unpleasant. What's the weather doing where you are? Okay, so Sarah's saying it's still a bit windy in Devon, but not nearly as bad, and the sun is shining. It's grey and horrible in Northern Ireland. Sorry to hear that. Still windy in Belgium. Michelle's just had a mild hailstorm. Actually, Erica, you had a hailstorm this morning as well, didn't you? And yeah, Steve saying it's first day being outside for a week. Yeah, so it's been really nice. I was out at 7:30 this morning, cutting back brambles, putting in hedging. It was like, I'm just not going to waste a moment of it. And Teresa's joined us. Hiya. Windy in the Republic of Ireland, sun and a bit of rain. Sunny in Maryland. And Owen's saying they've just had hail, but it's nowhere near as windy as yesterday. So it does look like it's quietly starting to improve. And Jenny's here. Hiya, Jenny. Thank you for joining us. Debs is in Herefordshire, which actually is only the next but one county up from us. In fact, I'm sure there are bits where Monmouthshire and Herefordshire touch. And she's saying that it's not entirely pleasant there yet, but we'll get there. Karen's here. Hiya, Karen. Supposed to be high of 58, so 14 degrees C, and partly cloudy in northwest Florida. We could really do with a few days of it being like that. So it's cloudy in Ontario. And Bright Purple Viking is here. Hello, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while, so hope you are well. Somebody says, oh, Jay says they hit the caps lock by accident. Yeah, I do things like that all the time as well. Maria is here. And Rachel Jane's Allotments is here. Hello, hello. So that was the weather. You'll be pleased to know I'm not doing a homestead harvest report this week because it's so small. I'm just going to tag it onto next week's if I've done any more harvesting then. Mrs. S has joined us, and James is here from Edinburgh, and Benny is here. Hello, how are you? So yes, so happy St Patrick's Day to our Irish friends that celebrate that, and also to anywhere else that celebrates that day. And the other bit of housekeeping, I'm ticking things off my list, is for those of you who listen to Mr J's radio shows, the years that he's covering in his retro album chart show. This week are 1967 and 1999. So some oldies and some less oldies. So there we go. That's that done. So given that the weather has been pretty disgusting across most of the UK, I know it hasn't been brilliant elsewhere in the world. Has anybody been sowing seeds this week, either in the ground, in the greenhouses, or in the house to put on the windowsill? And if so, what have you been sowing? I have, so while you're starting to answer that, I'll tell you, I've been in the greenhouse again. I've been potting up some plants, and I have been continuing to sow a few seeds. And John Wilson's here. Hiya, John. Welcome. And oh, excuse me, itchy back. So yes, so I've been in the greenhouse doing some bits and pieces, but it just got so blowy that I wasn't convinced that it was a very good idea to be in the greenhouse with the glass rattling as much as it is, and I'm not quite sure why it's rattling, because it's supposed to be fixed quite firmly in place. And Steve Plumwine has joined us. Hiya. Oh, Steve, you made a herb garden yesterday. Excellent. And yeah, so the greenhouse was rattling. So in the end, I decided I wasn't going to spend very much time there. So I need to say hello to a little bit of peace. Hello. I think that's Lynn's. And Christine is here. Hello. And Mosin from My Family Garden is here. And Elizabeth. There's loads of people here already. So at the moment I can see there are 56 here and 23 thumbs up. So between now and your departure from this live chat, not departure, but just from the live chat, if you'd be so kind as to lead a thumbs up, that would be absolutely brilliant. And Spencer's Nursery is here as well, and Carol. Hiya, Carol. Carol is just north of Disney, so in Florida, I'm guessing. And she's saying every 20 minutes you travel in any direction practically puts you in a different culture and climate. Yeah, I was amazed at Florida at how different it was as I moved around there. I don't mean I moved, but as I travelled. So Daniel's here, hiya, and Two Wild Onions Homestead is here. Spencer, can you remind me what part of the country you're in? I've got a feeling it's Derbyshire or something like that, but I'm not entirely sure. He'll tell me in a second. And Aniki, and I'm not sure I've said your name right, and if I haven't, I'm really sorry. Yeah, Derby, Nottingham border. There we go. I wasn't too far wrong. I don't know why I thought you were there. Maybe Hugh told me at some point that that's where you were. So loads of us here. So what we've been putting in herbs, tomatoes, and salads. Oh, they died on you. You're going to try again. So that was Aniki. Crystal Byrne is here. Watching from New Jersey. What's the weather doing there? Is it still Because I know when I'm looking at Morgan Gold, who's in Vermont, he still has a huge amount of snow. So what is New Jersey doing? Ross has popped in and he's heading out again. Have a good week. Robert says he's potting up his potatoes this week. Steve says he's sown spuds, tomatoes and second lot of broad beans. Oh, perhaps I ought to do some more broad beans. My broad beans are about 2 inches high now, but probably if I put a second lot in, they would run a bit behind them, wouldn't they? Let's have a little look. I think what I'm going to do today is I will, a little bit later on, allow everybody to promote their own channels and their own live chats. But for now, can I ask you not to do very much self-promotion, because it actually it breaks the flow of the chat, messages chat. And then we'll have a little patch, a bit like Erica does with her live chats, and we'll just have a bit of self-promotion later on. So what I grow, NL Allotment says peas went in this week. Mama in the garden sowed leeks, red cabbage, cauliflower and celery. I haven't put any celery in yet. Debs has sown 2 different types of tomatoes, courgettes and cucumbers. So yeah, it's almost like a switch has gone on and everyone is starting to either think about sowing or sowing in earnest now. Jenny said the seed she'd done a few weeks ago died, so it's doubling up with them, and some of the others need to be sown this month. Yeah. And Nora says her regular store garlic are twice as big as the organic garlic which are planted first. Maybe they will just end up being bigger bulbs of garlic. Benny's sowing broad beans tomorrow. Crystal's putting her greenhouse up today. That's exciting. That is properly exciting. Nice. Okay, Rose, I know it's fairly early in the morning there, but you've just said that you're having an Irish choffee. And so for those who don't know, choffee is an alternative, a caffeine-free alternative to coffee. But are you really drinking whiskey in your choffee at 10 o'clock in the morning? Because if you are...
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Spence says he sold some plants today. Northwest Headies are here. Is it okay to remove the seed from an onion if it sticks to it after germinating? They didn't want to come off on their own. I may have ripped the tops a bit when I removed the seed shell. I would still give them a go.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh! He's here, but he's just whacked his knee really hard on the table. So now he's leaving to pull a face. People are saying hello to you, but Dragonfly Monster Gardening. Hi, Michael. How are you? So you've bought your new home. You've put your fences up. How exciting is that? There's loads of people doing, quite major works in their gardens at the moment. It's really nice to see it happening. And Carol is here. Hi, Carol. She's saying she's just got up in Colorado and the sun is shining. I think he's gone off to say a few ripe words. That text and hi Pat actually broke ground on the new garden area. Brilliant. And the soil looks awesome and rich. I'd love to be able to say that about our soil. Our soil just looks clayey, sandy and stony. It doesn't look much fun at all. So, my family garden, so if you had your fences are blown down in the winds, I think a lot of people have lost structures in the wind this week. Yeah. Joe says a big glass of plum wine for Mr. J. It might be a bit early in the day. It might be a little bit early in the day for plum wine. Another few hours. I think we need to get, to sort of 6-ish for it to be. Oh, it's Sunday. I don't know. He's not driving anywhere. We could offer him the medicine, couldn't we? And Anne has joined us. Hi. So I'm just going to take a moment and read some of the messages. If you're here and I haven't said hello to you yet, could you say you missed me? So that I can actually say hello properly. Stu saying it's never too early or late for plum wine. I think it is. Yeah, I think there is a too early moment, actually. Dragonfly Monster Gardening saying, does anyone know what's the best pollinator for a Fuji apple? I don't know what a Fuji apple is, unless that's the type of apple, and it's not one I'm familiar with, so I think that might be something that others might be able to answer for you. This is really nice. The chat has paused, which makes me think that I haven't missed out. I haven't missed out saying hello to anyone. Hooray! Laurie's saying she thinks it's a type of crab apple. Wholesome Roots. Rose is saying, I don't normally have liquor in my choffee. It's St Patrick's Day. Yeah, no, that's okay. We're not judging. Obviously, we don't celebrate St Patrick's Day, but we know lots of our friends do. So, not because we're antisocial, but because we celebrate St David's Day, which we did a fortnight ago. I'm still reading. Okay, the other thing I'm going to tell you is, obviously, because I got demonetised back in November, part of that means that I can't have Super Chat either. But I have found a new system that will do exactly the same type of thing as Super Chat, which I've kind of half set up. So I've set up the donating bit, and it will then flash up on the screen just as it does, well, on the chat, just as it does with Super Chat, but not this week because I only set it up last night. We've done a trial this morning, and it's not sending up a notification. So, but I will just let you know that is coming, and it's the link to be able to put a donation, just exactly like the Super Chat, but instead of being underneath the chat conversation, it will be underneath this. I can't actually do it. Let's try it. Underneath this screen, just there or there. So it's in the very top of the description box. Yeah. Thank you, darling.
There it is.
Hi, Rose. She's saying, will YouTube still get... No, it's completely separate. It just goes through PayPal. But it is a secure payment rather than just being a PayPal payment. It will, once I've set it up, we'll be able to celebrate the giving as it happens, which would be lovely, wouldn't it?
It would.
Right,
here.
now, what's your knee?
I'm watching my knee, don't worry.
Okay, so shall we?
No, it's fine. I'm
Shall
fine.
we-
I'm fine. I'm fine. We're fine.
But you look shoved out of the way.
I was just being laid back and relaxed.
Well, how about I do?
Ah! You move me.
I do that. And I move over a little bit. How about that? Oh no, now we're still not quite right.
Oh dear. It's all so confusing.
Yeah, yesterday. Not
my
yesterday,
troubles.
on Friday, in Erica's live chat, someone gave her a super chat and she just couldn't speak, and then someone else did, and she just turned into a squeaking person, which was very funny. I think people were doing donations just to watch her
Just to
go,
hear us squeak. Yeah.
which was
Well,
really
you know,
funny.
why not?
So, Iniki's saying hello to you.
Hello, hello.
I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong, but it was that was my attempt. That was my attempt. So, Erica's saying it's the first time in her life she didn't have something to say. That's very true. Okay, so I saw either Owen or Spencer asked me why I got demonetised. The answer is I still don't exactly know. You don't get told why. In fact, I didn't even get told it had happened until I just got an email to say Super Chat was no longer available. So so the answer is I don't actually know why it happened. I've got lots of theories, and I think the channel got hit by view bots. But the answer is I don't know. We either got hit by view bots or a view farm or something. But it meant that we actually had masses of views that weren't real views. And then obviously that causes problems with the advertising and things. And I can see it's almost stopped now, but for pretty much from November until about 3 weeks ago, I could still see that happening. So I could see these views coming in that weren't real views. And I knew they weren't real views because it says time 0, less than a second.
And you get 50 of them.
And I'll get 50 of them instantly. So, there's obviously an issue, but it's not anything I've done. I just have to live with consequences. So, eventually, if I work out exactly what it is, I will make a video about it. But possibly, I'll never know. So Barbara says how the chicks do. The chicks are looking really good. So we had over the weekend, last weekend, Sunday, Monday. We ended up with 15 chicks out of the 21 viable eggs. I'm really pleased with them. They are a combination of pure Australorp.
Pure Australorp.
Thank you.
Australorp cross.
So an Australorp crossed with Moran and an Australorp crossed with like Sussex. So I'm really pleased with those. And Edie has joined us. Hi Edie, how are you? So we're very pleased. 15, all looking very healthy and chirpy.
Yeah,
and getting their first wing feathers now.
And they're just getting to the point. A couple of them are now brave enough to walk across the electric mummy.
Across the top of it already?
Yep.
Wow.
I went out to check on them earlier because they were being very quiet, but they were just waiting for someone to arrive so they could do a little performance.
So, Spencer, I will make a video about it and try and explain some of that stuff. But obviously, I only understand. Spencer's just asked me some more questions about the demonetisation thing. I can only gather from watching other people's videos who've been through the same thing and from looking at my my analytics and try and work out what's been going on. So conversation. Let's have a look. Jay McHugh's here. Hiya. Hi Liz. Any update on the apple seeds you and Hugh are saving? Mine is still in the fridge. I'm not sure if to take them out. Mine is still in the fridge too. I will nudge Hugh.
I'm not Hugh.
No,
just because he was sitting here last week.
I will do that. Nudge Hugh and say what we're supposed to be doing with them. Sarah says she's asked a gardening question above. Shall I repost it? Yes, please, because obviously I wasn't looking at the chat. So if you don't mind, that would be brilliant. Yeah, Kate's saying remember to put questions in capitals, which does make it easier for me to see. But if I'm looking at the screen, I haven't yet learnt how to look in two directions at once. Have you?
Not in public.
So, what else is happening here? Anything?
Oh, I don't know.
Nothing terribly exciting.
No, just life goes on as normal.
Just go on.
I've been out splitting logs and putting
Yeah.
some posts in.
Yeah. So yeah. Lynn says I have some crabapple seeds. I couldn't get anything. That would be all right. We'll
Keep going.
There's a fly in here. He's going to try and hit the fly. There we go. So
My ninja fly move didn't work.
and Joe's here. Hi, Joe. And 2 seconds. What else is happening out there? Oh, David's here. Hiya, and Evelyn's here. And so yeah, with the apples, if you only manage to get crabapple seedlings, I suspect Hugh may have some spare ones. So we might be able to No, he didn't dispatch that fly. Kilted Gardener, Robert. He is still here. Look, it's on the.
That's a different one.
Is it?
Yeah. The other one was green.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was an Irish fly.
So, I think Hugh might have some spare, so we can ask him about that as well. Any advice on planting blackberry bushes? But I've read that they can take over some.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so wild blackberries absolutely can take over. If you buy ones that have been bred, particularly because you can get thornless ones, you can then keep them more under control. That's the theory. Yeah. And even better if you actually train them and tie them onto wires, so that the ends then don't get down to the ground. They're less likely to root themselves then. What a Shambles says, they work in pairs, the flies.
Oh, right, okay.
I think they are. It's there again now.
Yeah. They're like delivery people. They work in pairs.
Have you brought the screen up because you can't read the writing
yes, and
here?
so I was thinking if there are questions that are being missed, I can nudge you.
Oh, yeah,
And say
thank you.
you're missing a nidgeon. A Christian. A ninja. Tips on growing gigantes beans, says Joe Brown.
Right, tips on in my opinion, it is too early to plant gigantes beans here in the UK. I don't think you need to plant them until possibly the second week or the third week in April or even later. You don't want them to go out until the risk of frost has passed. So absolutely no point in sowing them now. They'll grow really quickly, and then you'll have these great big long straggly things that you can't manoeuvre into the ground, and you'd have to keep potting them on. So actually better to wait. Little piece of heaven says, so no, it wasn't, sorry, wrong name. My little bit of piece said that the fly's going no.
Yeah, they do that.
I have good soil. Do I need to make a raised bed? I don't think so. I think if you've got good soil, unless you want it for aesthetic reasons, for it to look nice, I wouldn't worry about it. Raised beds are very often a way of dealing with not very good soil.
And containing things as well, if you don't want to have things spread.
Yeah, having said that, I grow our mint I actually grow some mint in an old tractor tyre, and it's now escaped. So I've noticed it's now making its way.
There was obviously a split in the tyre. That's why it's an old one, it got punctured.
Yes. Getting started on homesteading has joined us. Good morning. Here we are. Oh, look, I haven't got to the end of the chat yet. Michelle said she got a loganberry plant yesterday, reduced from £10 to £3.
Nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is really nice. We love loganberries. I made some really nice loganberry jam, didn't I?
Yeah, and I think you should try some loganberry wine this year.
That would be lovely. We're going to move the loganberries this year.
Edie's got a question about fresh broad beans in the pod. Any ideas how to use those for seeds?
You've got fresh broad beans still in the outer pod. Take them out of the outer pod, and you can either plant them straight away or you can dry them and then use them for seed next year. so there's discussions now about I think those things have arrived. If we can just block, hopefully I haven't just blocked one of you. I've blocked someone who wasn't wanted. And Broussard Homestead's here and Bettina's here. And
Yes.
thank you, Erica, for reporting that too. So, Carol says, lovely day all. I'm off to the nursery. I'm after some early colour. I hope you find some nice plants. And thank you to the moderators who are having to work incredibly hard at the moment.
Thumbs up for the moderators.
Yeah.
Double thumbs up for the moderators.
So hang on. I need to talk about a couple of
I've got a
things.
very good tip for us. There was a question here from Northwest Headies.
Yeah.
Do we have any tips for keeping cats and raccoons out of the garden? Very easy for us to keep raccoons out of the garden. There aren't any in Wales, except if they're in a zoo. Cats,
No.
we don't actually, because obviously we have Monty, and the neighbours have cats, and
And we're cat.
we're cat friendly people.
We're cat friendly people. The only thing I have done is to put netting over raised beds and over crops. It can't just be lying on it because they'll just sit on that. But if you've got hoops and you can get netting up over hoops, and obviously you are protecting it completely, which stops them doing their do.
Doing the do like Betty Boo.
Doing the do in a raised bed, and I've done that a few times. I've done that with onions and garlic and things that I want to give them a chance to get established.
Erica has a naughty hound. It was standing on her raised bed. As long as it wasn't raising a leg at the same time, you should be all right.
Yeah. Tony is here. Says the only thing he has to worry about is slugs and the occasional pesky sparrow. My problem with netting, my concern with netting is that if it isn't sealed completely all the way around, that there is a risk of birds getting into it and then getting trapped in it. So I think if you're going to put netting on it, it can't just be draped loosely. It actually you need to hold it
fixed,
down, all the way around. But there are lots of things that apparently stop cats. There's you can put large plastic drinks bottles with water in them. That's supposed to stop them. Someone said citrus peel. You can get those. You can get sort of cat-shaped things, can't you, with shiny eyes and things.
Spencer
I
saying
haven't found
if you
any
have a
of them
cat.
work.
Sorry, I was going to say. Spencer says if you have a cat of your own, apparently that stops other cats emptying themselves in your garden. Oh no, it doesn't. It might do in a very small garden, I suppose, but on a plot the size of ours or anything larger, it certainly wouldn't.
No, they just do their own thing. Rosa's suggesting cayenne pepper sprinkled around.
Rachel Jane's allotment says orange peel around the garden.
Yeah, citrus peel supposed to help. Erica's saying, but she thinks we should check netting daily. Yeah, see, I mean, when I put my netting on, it's very, very fine mesh netting, so nothing smaller than a very small thing is going to get through it. And then I hold it down all the way around with quite heavy wood. So, back to basics with Crystal says, nothing stopped my cats, but then again, they keep the snakes out. Yeah, another thing we don't have to worry about.
We've had a few grass snakes about.
We've had a few
A
grass
couple of
snakes.
adders.
Here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have snakes here. No, we don't.
But a warming climate.
Yeah, but we don't have any nasty snakes here, do we? I mean, you might want to get nipped by an adder because it stings, but no more than the wasp sting.
Less than a wasp sting.
Sarah's saying her old garden was on the edge of 4 territories. It was Cat's Corner. Yeah.
The house at Mew Corner.
Steve's saying slow worms. What happened to them?
They got quicker. Sorry.
Oh, it's going to be one of those days today, isn't it? It's been like that all day. There are still snow worms.
Snow worm. Oh, I like the idea of snow worms.
Slow worms around. There are still around. I just think they aren't. I think they aren't as common as they used to be.
We used to have them in the shed in a house I lived in Bath, and they freaked the kids out.
Yeah. Aniki says, what do you do with snails when you catch them? Give them to the ducks.
Absolutely. They love them.
So lots of people saying they have snakes. One of the advantages of living on this small island is that there are less predators.
Didn't St Patrick drive all the saints out of the all the snakes out of Ireland, supposedly?
I think so.
That must have been a heck of a car
We've
journey.
we've got Irish we've got Irish folks here, so they will know. Does someone want to let us know? Was it St Patrick who drove all the snakes?
Not the saints.
All the snakes out of our island. Yes, St Patrick did.
Oh,
Yeah, well done. It is being confirmed. I'm enjoying a bottle of Cranbourne Poacher beer, cooking Sunday lunch, pick some kale, still growing from the winter. Well, that sounds quite a nice way to spend your afternoon or early afternoon. And Robert says
chickens love snails too.
Yeah, no one's told our chickens that. They don't.
They ignore them.
They don't like caterpillars.
No,
they don't.
Slugs.
They like frogs.
Mice.
And Dragonfly Monster Gardens, I've named your fly Harold, and he's here for your wine.
I'm thinking of Harold the Barrel from the Genesis album.
Tony's saying he's just had some kale from the garden too. It's started to bolt now, as it does. Yes, ours has started bolting as well. It was Patrick, and he was a Welshman.
I never knew he was Welsh. Mind you,
Do you know what? I did, because they said on the telly yesterday during the rugby that you didn't watch.
No, of course I didn't.
So,
I have better things to do with my time.
Okay, so we're not in this house. I am the rugby fan.
I don't do sports.
And Mr. J doesn't. And I don't do really many other sports, do I?
No.
I will watch a little bit of tennis occasionally when I'm feeling particularly lazy. But I do watch a lot of rugby.
Which is fine.
Yeah. And Sarah is here saying her dogs dig up grub worms and eat them. Yuck. Yeah, yuck. So Sarah says she needs a bit of advice on my fruit trees.
What sort of advice were you looking for, Sarah? Broussard Homestead wants to know what the season is like in the UK.
Yeah, so we're coming into spring as well.
Yeah.
So
which is why it's been blowing gales for the last few days.
Brendan, hiya Brendan, says my rhubarb is starting to bolt already and it's only just emerged. You can just take any flower stalks away and it should carry on growing. You'll just need to keep on removing them. And obviously you're going to snap those off, not cut them. And Howie from Food Forest Permaculture is here. Hiya. Sarah says she's pointing upwards. So could you have a look up and see if you can see the question from Sarah about fruit trees?
Okay.
Do you know what's lovely is when I read back through this, there is so much gardening advice.
Yeah, I'm still seeing.
I'll go a bit higher up.
I'll keep going. You keep talking.
Okay.
I'll keep looking.
Kevin says, is my comments been getting deleted? I don't think your comment is necessarily getting deleted. It could just be going so fast that I haven't read it and I haven't caught it because the conversation is going quite quickly. That text says, I find it interesting that our weather here in Virginia has gone hand in hand with what you all mentioned in Wales. Yeah, because you have the weather first,
And we
and
get
then
it a
a
week
couple of
later.
days later, 2, 3, 4 days later, depending on how fast the wind is, we're getting it. So,
I'm sorry, Sarah, I can't find this comment.
yeah. So,
I've
Sarah, we
scrolled back
can't find
ages
your
ago.
question. Is there a chance that you can put it in capitals again?
She just said that she's not worried the question is disappearing. We're
Yeah.
chatting a lot, which is true.
Okay, so pop the question up again. I have got it on seeing all the chat, not just on the top chat, so we should
see
actually see it. Crystal's saying she's planting cherry tomatoes while listening. Oh, that's nice. I quite often put the radio on in the greenhouse while I'm chatting. Kevin's saying he posted it twice, but you can't see it either. Well, I don't know what we're missing then. Right, can everybody, this is going to take a bit of moments, could everybody stop typing for a second, please? And could Kevin and Sarah, can you both put your comment or your question again? So hopefully in about 20 seconds time, because I know there's a bit of a delay, those two should come up on their own. So if everybody else pauses, and we're doing a pause. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for Kevin's question and Sarah's question. So type quickly because we're on tenterhooks here.
It's not printing, says Sarah.
Oh, okay. So it's just not. It's not being written. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Get in touch with me another way and ask the question.
Okay.
Kevin is.
I was saying about the St. Patrick legend uses snakes as a term to describe the pagan ancestors being driven out of Ireland.
Oh, I see. Well, that's quite interesting as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So rather than it being a literal thing.
Mm.
Thank
Sarah
you,
can see
Kevin,
her
for
question
telling us
above.
that.
That's really weird because I can't see it. I've scrolled back, Sarah, and I couldn't find it. I maybe
How
scrolled
bizarre.
past it. I don't know, but
If anyone else can see Sarah's question that we can't see, could you copy and paste it in saying, and just say Sarah said, and then print it in? Daniel says, maybe I'm being paranoid. Okay, so Daniel, thank you for your comments there. The answer is no. When I got demonetized, all my communication channels got cut off, so I actually can't communicate with YouTube and ask them for their help.
cheerio, Carol, who's got to go and do chores. And Sarah's question is about pruning her new fruit trees. Doesn't know whether to do it or not.
Okay, Sarah, if you are a member of my group on Facebook, pop some pictures on and ask on there. I think I wouldn't personally prune new fruit trees. I know other people will think differently, but I would just leave them, let their roots happen, let them establish, and then have a look at them late summer and then in the winter, and make decisions then about whether you want to prune them or not. Oh, Erica agrees with me, so there we go. Okay, Edie, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Okay. Jim says, hi, Jim. I have a question. I'm making a tall raised bed. Would it work to fill the bottom with bales of straw if I have a foot of soil above them and around them to fill the space? I understand it will settle. Absolutely. Lots and lots of people do that. So get your straw in there, put the bales in, really, really thoroughly soak them. Give them a really, really good soaking, because obviously they'll dry out quite quickly. So when the soil goes in on top, you want that soil to be going on to damp bales, and they will rot down over a couple of years. But that's okay, because then hopefully by then you've got lots of compost to fill it back up with. So get your compost bin going as well. David says, for slugs I use beer traps. I also grow an extra load of crop or trap plants. Yeah. And nasturtiums are good ones for attracting pests away from crops. So I grow nasturtiums at the end. At the ends are quite a lot of the beds for that very purpose. And they're always covered in black fly and caterpillars, aren't they?
Mama's in the garden wants to know some good plants for a windbreak. Willow's quite good.
Yes. If you're looking for something that's going to grow very quickly, willow is your thing, but it can be a bit of a thug. He's not waving at you, he's waving at the fly, which will no doubt put in an appearance again in a second. So yeah, so willow's a really good one. I've been planting hornbeam this morning, which takes a little while, but once it gets going, is fabulous. Well, actually, I've been putting in a native hedging as well. So hawthorn, blackthorn, wild cherry,
something else.
Some rose. Yeah, dear. Can we tell? I had a very late night last night. Because it's Saturdays, and why not? So we stayed up way too late, and my brain's just a little bit.
Tobacco, according to Kilted Gardener, is good for flies and such. Also, they're good for the bees, but really bad for us.
And my little bit of piece said, "Sorry, my son typed the last comment. What, the ep one? There was a really good eep or ep comment."
Yes, I saw that. I thought it was some gardening term, so I thought I'd ignore it.
Poplar is Spencer's saying poplar. So I planted 5 poplar along our east boundary 3 years ago, and they are already about 12 feet high, which is amazing. They're going to be fantastic.
Oh yeah,
they're going to
really
completely put the whole garden in shade in a few years' time.
That Texan wants to know if we have Photinia.
We haven't.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, it's a really pretty plant, and it's
Sounds
usually
like
got a really deep red leaf.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it is. I think it's got a very deep red leaf, and it's very pretty. So Sarah's saying, what is it? It's an evergreen bush that in the autumn the leaves go very, very red. Now, it is 10 to 3. It's 10 to the hour. And I asked you earlier not to self-promote during the live chat, but shall we have 5 minutes of just, if you've got a channel, say you've got a channel, if you do a live chat, write that you've got a live chat and what week and time it is, how you put in your announcement, do all of that, fire away. And then if you're not familiar with somebody else's channel and they say they've got a channel, if you want to have a look to see if it's something that you might be interested in watching, you go to the comment, and at the side of the comment, if you click, you'll get 3 dots. Click on those 3 dots and it will say go to channel, and it will open it up in a new screen. So you can just open up several screens, and then that will give you a chance to go back and have a look at a later moment. And do you know what?
What?
We could have a cup of tea in a minute.
We could. I'll put the kettle on.
Well, while people are listening, know.
I've got Sunday legs, you know.
You've got Sunday legs, have you? We're not really chatting for a minute because we're just going to let people pop up their channel information. And the best bit is, after the live chat, when I go back through this, I can then have a look at everyone who says they've got... Oh, and S.A.N.'s family gardener here. So sorry if we haven't said hello before, but hello. Okay, so David is saying go on, have a glass of something. I'm going to have a cup of tea because I actually don't drink alcohol. The only time I use it is in cooking, and I burn the alcohol off. Whereas Mr. J will have a glass of something. So,
not when I'm going to be wielding a hammer.
Wow, Kate is saying, you know, inside Kate's kitchen, she doesn't do a live, but she moderates 10 different live chats.
Good grief.
Wow, that's
Glutton for
dedication. That is absolute dedication. Thank you so much, Kate. Okay, so while people are just typing, I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody who moderates. You do seem to have your work cut out for you on a Sunday afternoon. And it looks like we may well also have another of those folks here at the moment. So if somebody wants to have a quick address of that one, that would be brilliant. Thank you, Chrissy. You all right?
Yeah.
It's very antisocial, you looking down at that, you know. That's what I've put this up. I know, otherwise it just looks like the top of your head. That's not very interesting. There we go. So,
What we actually need is like teleprompters.
We do need teleprompters. The other thing I want to do is I would like to say thank you to those who have joined us on Patreon in the last week. So we've had one person who has said that they would prefer to remain anonymous. Michelle has joined us, and now I'm in trouble because I can't remember who the other person was.
You didn't tell me.
And I didn't write it down. I'm a bad person. I'm so sorry.
But you can
make
welcome
sure.
them next week.
I will make sure that I welcome you next week. Oh, that's unlike me. Unlike me to do that. I haven't been as organised as I usually am.
No.
So.
Mind you, we have been wombling about doing different things this morning. And
yes, we've been all over the place this morning.
You've been out working since early o'clock.
So.
Not quite stupid o'clock, but early o'clock.
Early o'clock, yeah. And Alan says, totally off topic. You can be off topic, that's fine. I love the colour of the cupboards. They're nice, aren't they? They're kind of greeny. No, they're a grey green.
Greyish green, yeah.
A greyish green.
As opposed to Graham green.
And they were here when we bought the house, so it wasn't our decision. If I had been choosing, I would probably have put cream cupboards in.
But they're what we have.
But actually, they're really nice. No, I like.
I don't think they're mint or sage, really. They are, I suppose, mint is nearer than sage.
No,
but
I think they're
a
pale olive. A pale. Yeah, they are kind of sagey green. Pale sage, dried sage. I don't know. They are what they are. Hillary's saying, are they French grey? No. They are more green than a French grey. Right, we have got to that time of day where I am in definite need of a cup of tea. So thank you for joining us today.
There are questions about Patreon.
Oh, are there? Can I explain Patreon? And also, Michelle is coming to Wales in about 3 weeks. Michelle, can you drop me a message and we can arrange to have a cup of tea together if you are in this part, the south of Wales as opposed to North Wales. So, okay, Erica, just a quick... Stop asking me questions, Erica. Hi, Bill. Hello. I'm trying to... so Patreon is a system where you can choose to support a creator for a fixed amount a month. So it's an ongoing support. And different creators run their Patreon pages in different ways. And what I do is... sometimes you'll get something written from me weekly, pretty much. You'll get a video, and my videos on Patreon are not on YouTube. What I am doing at the moment is putting together excerpts from a compilation, so an excerpts I like that word though. I've learned how to spell it, so we're going to use that. Excerpts. I can't say it, but I like it. From about 4 months worth of Patreon videos. So that's quite a lot of hours, or 4 or 5 hours worth of videos. Will be condensed down into a 10 or 12-minute video for YouTube. But basically, Patreon is a way to offer ongoing support for creative peoples. Did that make sense?
And people saying I look tired. I'm all right. Don't worry.
You look tired. You do look tired. You've looked
It's
tired.
been a long
for,
week.
You look tired for days.
It's been a long week.
He's done a lot of walking against the wind, and that is really tiring. Okay, so I hope that answered the question about Patreon. I can see the kettle is being filled up, and I really, really need to go and get a cup of tea. So thank you for joining us today.
The outtakes videos.
So thank you for joining us today. I'll read back through everybody's comments. I will answer what I can in the comments later in the day. So if you come back and have a look, if you've asked a question I haven't answered, I may well answer it in the comments. And so wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one.